What if I told you there's a $2.3 trillion investment opportunity from valuing water just waiting to be seized? Yes, you heard that one right, $2.3 trillion. That's not me talking, that's straight from CDP's latest report. And it's been very successful in getting the water sector buzzing. All for nothing? Gosh, why do I need to be the party pooper all the time? Let's jump into it. This story starts with CDP's annual Water Global Report. In fact, companies disclosing to CDP have identified 2,934 water-related opportunities, a 16% increase compared to last year. But here's the kicker, most people are overlooking it. CDP calls it an untapped reservoir of potential, and the non-profit organization is not shy on words to convince its investors, companies, cities, and government interlocutors to take the matter seriously. Indeed, the report highlights how water security is the most impactful risk of the 21st century. Quite bold already, but wait, there's more. The report also states that water-related impacts cost business $301 billion. That's billions with a B on the negative impact side. Meanwhile, water-related opportunities could generate $711 billion in revenue. So, if you're not paying attention to water, you're essentially leaving money on the table. And who hates leaving money on the table more than CEOs?
I like money!
It's hence quite logical to discover in CDP's add-on report released for the Stockholm Water Week that 1,100 CEOs are now tying their bonuses to water-related goals. And it doesn't stop with the CEOs. CDP also highlights that companies disclosing to them represent over $13 trillion in market capitalization. That's a lot of zeros, and it's a lot of influence. These companies aren't just dabbling in water issues, they're making it a cornerstone of their business strategies. But talking of a lot of zeros, let's break down this $2.3 trillion investment opportunity from valuing water. It actually features three main components. First, companies citing opportunities in new products and services that could be worth an astonishing $1.7 trillion. Second, new water-related markets worth $328 billion. And third, an improved resilience to extreme weather, an estimated cost saving of $231 billion. Further breaking down these figures, we find out that water treatment technologies alone represent a potential $711 billion slice of this trillion-dollar pie. Sustainable agriculture, that's a $569 billion right there. And let's not forget infrastructure. Updating our aging water systems would unlock an additional $532 billion. The list goes on, and each sector presents its own set of unique investment opportunities. Even big brands reveal how they get a piece of this lucrative pie. To name a few, Volkswagen identified a potential $1.2 billion in annual water-related savings, while Samsung estimates a potential $4.3 billion in new revenue from water-efficient products. And that might just be the emerged part of the iceberg. Over 4,000 companies were asked to disclose their data on their water impact, but only 13% responded. Yeah, that's a gap. Does that mean others overlook water, or does it mean they simply don't report it? That's something I'll try to find out in great detail in an upcoming podcast series. You may want to subscribe to not miss out. But wait, that's a lot of nice numbers, yet what could it mean for you, your company, or your investment strategy? Investors among us may sure want to be ahead of the opportunity curve, but even on the risk side of things, companies will want to mitigate the water-related impacts that cost business $301 billion. That's not just good practice, it's good business. Lower operational costs, fewer supply chain disruptions, and a greener brand image. It's a win-win-win. And as just mentioned, as well, for CEOs to link water goals to their bonus is a clearly next-level leadership. You're not just steering the ship, you're setting the course for an industry-wide transformation. If you recall right, that's something I discussed last year with Patrick Decker, Xylem CEO. Finally, there's even a cherry on top. For the consumers and the planet, the benefits are immeasurable. From cleaner rivers and healthier ecosystems to more sustainable products on the shelves, the positive impacts are far-reaching. To sum it up, whether you're an investor, a company, a CEO, or just someone who cares about the planet, the benefits of diving into this $2.3 trillion pool are manifold. It's not just about the money, it's about shaping a future where business and sustainability go hand in hand.
Stop it, you're making me cry.
So, all that being said, What's not to love about it? Why do I dare to title this video the $2.3 trillion investment opportunity nobody will leverage? First, if you think I'm wrong, just open your LinkedIn feed and you will swiftly get a ton of support from everybody, and not exactly from nobodies, but from people I respect and admire. Still, I stand my ground, and here's why. The CDP report is new, but the message isn't. For instance, let's rewind to 2018 and to the OECD's report called Financing Water, Investing in Sustainable Growth. That piece told us about the economic losses due to water insecurity. $260 billion from inadequate water supply, $120 billion from urban property flood damages, $94 billion to existing irrigators. It also highlighted the benefit-cost ratio for water investments to be as high as 7-to-1 in developing countries. And yes, that's where this figure I've been using many times comes from. In a nutshell, different numbers, yet in a similar order of magnitude. But let's take an even more symbolic piece of wisdom, the reference McKinsey report Charting Our Water Future, published in 2009. What does it tell us? Well, water scarcity is a business risk, not just an environmental topic, and it puts a price tag on the cost of inaction country by country. Along the same lines, another OECD report, Water and Finance, highlighted how water security is essential for sustainable economic growth. It warned that economic risks from flooding are increasing worldwide, and the most significant losses are from inadequate water supply and sanitation. I could do much more digging, and don't worry, I'll do it in just a minute. But what I'd like to highlight here is that the CDP report isn't the first, and unfortunately, it won't be the last. Because opportunities are one thing, but they're just an impressive number as long as we don't act on it. But what prevents us from acting on it? Is it the usual suspect, aka money? Well, not really. As shown in the OECD report I just mentioned, the main reason why investments in water security do not materialize is not a shortage of money. Money is available globally to finance investments in water security. You may think that's optimistic and outdated in the age of cooling down economic growth and inflation. But still, that was Christopher Gasson's clear conclusion at the end of this year's Global Water Summit.
We're seeing a number of countries, notably America and Saudi Arabia, but other countries are in a similar state, where there's actually no limit on the amount of money available. It's just extraordinary amounts of capital that are being made available to spend. And that reflects the fact that we have probably crossed a boundaries where the sort of political awareness of water as one of the most pressing challenges of the 21st century has sort of finally broken through.
And to tell you just what I'm allowed to, it's also what I heard from the World Bank. So if it's not a cash problem, what is it? Here's where it gets intriguing. The bottleneck isn't about throwing more money into the water, it's about how we manage that money. The same OECD report gives us the playbook. Maximize value from existing water security investments, select investment pathways that reduce water risks, and ensure synergies and complementarities with investments in other sectors. In simpler terms, we've got to be smarter with our investments. It's not about how much you invest, it's about where and how you invest it. And that's not the end of it. In yet another OECD report, Financing Water for All, yes, I have wonderful reads on weekends. We get introduced to a game changer, inversion in the financial architecture. This isn't about turning Wall Street upside down or shaking the money tree. It's a complete paradigm shift in how we approach water financing. The old way, top-down, where big institutions call the shots. The new way, bottom-up, where companies, local communities, civil society, and even individual investors like you and me have a say in how water projects are financed and managed. Why is this important? The report spells it out. Good governance, responsibility, the participation of civil society, decentralization and transparency are the keys to unlocking this financial Rubik's Cube. And I maybe didn't mention the Rubik's Cube just by accident. Again, we are not in a liquidity crisis, we're in an ingenuity crisis. And that's a drought no amount of money can quench. But back to our CDP report that gets everyone on their toes these days. Don't take me wrong, it's a great piece of content, offering an interesting angle through its voluntary reporting component, but still, the economic criticality of water investment is a topic that's been around for nearly 4 decades. Yeah, You heard that one right. The OECD's typology of water investments report is a testament to that, as it showed in 1990 that the economic benefits of investing in water could exceed hundreds of billions of dollars annually, while poor sanitation and water management can lead to economic losses of up to 7% of GDP in some countries. Again, that was 34 years ago. The only thing that's changed all that time is that every year we don't act, the stakes get higher, the crises get worse, and the solutions get more expensive. It's like ignoring a leaky faucet. Eventually you're gonna flood your entire house and the faucet will run dry. To quote yet another OECD report, don't judge me, I also had a lot of travels lately, hence a lot of reading. We're in a chronic procrastination crisis. The data's been there, the warnings have been sounded, and yet here we are, still debating whether water is worth our time and investment. Spoiler alert, it is, and the clock is ticking. So, to all the big shots and water entrepreneurs out there, listen up. The business opportunity is there, be it millions, billions, or trillions. The money is there, and for maybe the first time in history, it stays there and available despite the broader economic situation. It's the ideas and the will to implement them that's missing on both a meta scale, and yes, I think of you lousy UN Water Conference, and on the grassroots side of the story. While I say I believe nobody will leverage the $2.3 trillion opportunity CDP highlights, I beg you to prove me wrong. Because yes, I'm clickbaity on purpose, and yes, I'm pumped to work with the ones who want to tackle this. That's what this channel is about. Go past the trillions or something statements, get the rubber on the ground, and achieve the win-win-win we talked about today. Want to support me along the way or ensure you grab my curated analysis of the water world? Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.